All right, everybody, how's it going? Of course, it is still March 15th here on a Tuesday. We're still here in the thick of the legal tampering period. I know there's a lot of players being signed, guys being traded, players kind of re-signing with their teams, signing with new teams. It's a pretty exciting time of year, but unfortunately or fortunately for some of these guys who maybe requested their release, like in the case of maybe Myles Jack, you maybe see like this is a business. This is the unfortunate side of the game. This is the side of the game that nobody really likes to deal with, but it still has to be talked about because when players like of this caliber, like a Myles Garrett or a Myles Jack or a JC Tretter or a Janoris Jenkins or a Johnny Hecker or who else was released today? It's like a long list of surprisingly like decent players. Michael Pierce, you like all four of these guys really. You just see a number of good players that will like make changes on teams that they get brought into. Of course, we'll start off with the first name listed. It'll be Myles Jack. I really don't understand what the reason for getting rid of Myles Jack was. Did he just fall off after that like big year where he helped lead them to a championship appearance versus the Patriots? The whole thing. Myles Jack wasn't down. Blah 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 blah. Basically, what I'm trying to figure out is why the Jaguars in a rebuild decided to get rid of a 26-year-old. I guess like they didn't try to trade him, and it just seems like they cut him. It has to be a situation in which that he requested a release. The team looked at, maybe trending downwards performance and went, maybe it is in our best interest if we move on from Myles. He led the team last year at tackle. So, I mean, it can't even be that hard of a fall off. Maybe things just aren't working out. Maybe they tried to find a trade partner. Team sniffed out that they were ready to move on and just kind of like, just release him. We're not going to give you anything for him. Could it be a reputation of just being on the Jaguars kind of brought him down, Josh Allen's emergence? But it does seem a little weird that Myles Jack was released without any team being interested. I would imagine there's actually quite a strong market for a player like Myles Jack because he's actually really good. He's 26 years old, super young, super high upside, a lot of potential, a lot of talent. We've seen him be talented in this league. So you put him on a defense with a little bit more direction, a little bit more liveliness than the Jaguars, a team with more liveliness, a team with less flux, a team that's actually well put together, unlike the Jaguars. You might bring out the best of Myles Jack and get yourself a Pro Bowl caliber player. Now, that's the high side. That's the potential big side. Maybe he's just trending downward because the league just isn't like he got figured out. But I highly doubt that. I think this has more to do with I'm just sick of playing for them guys. That probably is what it feels like. A player of his talent, a player of his skill and caliber, kind of wasting away in Jacksonville, like Calais Campbell, guys before him. We've seen this happen with a number of these Jaguars players that look like they're falling off, and then they leave and they turn back into what we've seen in 2017. So we'll probably see something like that of Myles Jack reemerge, especially since he's literally 26, 27 years old, very young cat. So we'll probably see him on a number of teams that are linebacker needy. I would imagine this is the kind of move the Patriots make. As much as I love the Patriots, they've been rather quiet this offseason, but this is the kind of player the Patriots usually like to go grab up, guys that have shown talent in the league, but something is happening to make them not live up to it. Think like Stephon Gilmore, for example, when he came over from Baltimore, or Buffalo, you'd seen the signs that he was like a good player, like there was something there, but it just wasn't quite coming out. Come to the Patriots, the system that New England runs on defense, it seems to kind of make these guys work a little better. They learn how to play to their strengths, Belichick's coaching, whatever it may be. It seems to help utilize and bring out the best of them, which is all it seems like Myles Jack would need. So he isn't the only guy released. Obviously, you can see here Michael Pierce, Johnny Hecker, Malik. I mixed up the names. And Janoris Jenkins. The Titans released Janoris Jenkins, and Johnny Hecker was released, and Michael Pierce was released. Three really good players. Johnny Hecker is one of the better punters in football. I'm sure he'll find a home very quickly. Michael Pierce will be signed, one of the better defensive tackles in free agency now, I would say. And Janoris Jenkins, we'll see if Jack Rabbit gets signed. Here's the other big news. I'm actually kind of surprised why J.C. Tretter was released. I'm going to ask something, and I'm going to see if there's the Browns fan in my Discord will answer this while I'm recording. But, because I'm really confused. Isn't he, a top 5 center? Yeah, like I don't think any Browns fans understand this. Um, we're getting 7 mil, but like what? Wasn't he good? Yeah, I think everybody's confused. Really good. He may be a top 10 center, but he was getting paid hella money. I'd rather have a young guy step. I guess it's the situation of he's making a lot of money as a center. Like I like this one. This one was one of the most shocking like releases because it's like, oh, what the fuck? Like literally one of the highest like character guys. Everybody seems to like JC Tretter. He's the president of the NFLPA. Handles all the bullshit that everybody has to deal with. Like literally a top top 3 center in the NFL. I'm very confused as to this move. I feel like they just extended him too. Hold on a second. JC Tretter contract. Like I swear he just signed like a good contract. In 2019 he signed a 3-year deal. So this would have been his last year with the team anyway. Okay. I guess that makes sense, but maybe you should try to trade him. I'm sure if you were to offer him up to the Bengals, you could have gotten something. Now it feels like the door is open for the Bengals to get themselves a center, and their offensive line rebuild is going along quite nicely. I would imagine any team without a center is now in the J.C. Tretter Oregon sweepstakes because this is quite honestly one of the best centers in football right now. A very high, well-respected guy around the NFL. Everybody seems to like him. Players all seem to like him. He's going to be a great clubhouse guy, great locker room leader, great leader of a team, great franchise guy, great culture guy. Both of the releases, it's like one of those things where you're like, you kind of understand the Myles Jack situation because you're looking at a team rebuilding. You're looking at a guy probably maybe frustrated with everything that's gone on in his short career while at Jacksonville. Think back from 2017 Jags to today. That's a lot of movement. That's a lot of crazy shit to go down in a 4-year career, 5-year career. So you can see the frustration. Whereas like JC Tretter, I'm sure he's just as blindsided as all of us. I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, I get it has to just be a cap move. Yeah, I think most people are kind of like, is it all cap? Is that 100%? Uh, is it like a move? It has to be like like they must be trying to make a. Yeah, it's just I guess it's one of those things where it's like the NFL is a weird business. We seen one side of it being a weird business where Randy Gregory was able to spurn the Cowboys earlier today and sign with the Broncos, but now we're seeing the other side, the ugly side that the owners can inflict as well, where they just get rid of guys like J.C. Tretter and just move on like it didn't really matter too much. I got maybe okay. I read something. They said they have a potentially good young center in Nick Harris. So I guess I get it. You save a couple $1,000,000, but boy, oh boy, is someone like his presence hard to replace. I wonder if that winds up burning them. I was going to like consider adding these other guys, but Janoris Jenkins, Michael Pearson, Johnny Heckard those don't feel like videos I need to make individually. I'll just throw them in here. But yeah, so. We assume that both Myles Jack and J.C. Tretter will find homes very quickly. Myles Jack, I would look to teams like maybe the Eagles, the Patriots, the Commanders. Whereas like, team like middle of the road teams with like good franchise, like he even may be looking at like the Chiefs or the Rams or something like that. Maybe go to like from bad to great. And with Tretter, he's going to go anywhere where they need a center. He's going to go to probably maybe the Bengals. That's my guess, or the Giants. One of those two seem like the right option. So we'll see. What do you think of those two, of all these releases today? Or is there anyone that kind of just leaves you scratching your head like the J.C. Tretter one does for me? The Myles Jack one I can kind of explain. Johnny Hecker, he's making too much as a punter. They need to cut cap. Janoris Jenkins, I guess that might be cap. And then Michael Pierce's age cap issue. So you kind of get the releases, and let me know what you think down below. You kind of get why, but J.C. Tretter, if it's only $7 million, like, what are you guys doing? You save $7 million? Like, is it that Cleveland down that bad? Are we? Sheesh. All right, but leave a like if you're new around here. Consider subscribing to the channel as well. Both those things help grow the channel, and they're free, yada, yada, all that YouTube stuff. Don't even want to get into it. And, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Make sure you like, leave a comment down below. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Subscribe and whatever. I already said that. Yeah, that's pretty much it then. Make sure you're... Yeah, all right, that's it. Go Lions, go Tigers, go Patriots, and thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you when I talk to you next. Peace out. I'll see you around. Bye-bye.